So if you're into the topic of groundwater zones, or you're talking about the water cycle and runoff and infiltration, this is a good demo to take a look at. This demonstration is going to show what happens when we have saturated soil and what happens to heavy rainfall when it strikes the surface that is already saturated. Obviously, we're not going to get all that much infiltration. We're probably going to get a lot more runoff and a lot more of the flooding conditions. So here's what I'm going to do. I have a tube of sand, well sorted, very, very fine. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a beaker of water, just pour it on top. What you're going to see here is that the water is going to pool up at the surface and the infiltration is going to be incredibly slow. So let me come up here. So I'm literally going to fill this all the way to the top. Literally to the top there. So the entire section up here is filled up. So you can kind of see some of that water starting to infiltrate, starting to see some bubbles coming up. Those bubbles are going to indicate that the water is replacing the air in those pore spaces. And as you can see, it is infiltrating, but it is infiltrating really slowly, literally drop by drop. So we're getting a pretty slow drip here. I actually timed this in class, and this ended up taking about 25 minutes for that entire column of water to completely infiltrate through. This soil is permeable, but the permeability is very, very, very slow. It is a very slow permeability rate. Literally drop by drop, you're gonna get that infiltration happening. And like I said, it takes about 25 minutes or so for this entire tube to empty out drop by drop. This would be synonymous with flood stages. This is your zone of saturation at the surface now, and you have flooding because there's nowhere else for the water to go. Some of that water is infiltrating down, and it is infiltrating all the way down into the beaker here, but most of that is going to be staying on top. So just a nice little demo, nice little visual if you are doing groundwater zones, zone of saturation, flood stages. This is a really nice example to take a look at. Until next time, everybody.